This book is about Jude, who is a man in his 30s, 40s, 50s. Hello everyone, my name is Helene and today I am back with a book review. I recently read A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara and I can tell you right now, I love the book, so I think it deserves the attention and I think it deserves a full video review with my thoughts on the story, the plot, the characters and everything, so that's what you're going to get now. This review is going to be quite hard to do because this is one of those books that leave you speechless. It leaves you with so many emotions and with such a void inside of you because it has finished, and it's so hard to put words on your experience because this book will take you on quite an experience. But that's what I loved about it, and I just really think it deserves the attention, and I really think that people should pick it up, even though it is quite huge. It is a 720-page piece of work, but it's just so good, and it's so worth the journey. Let me start with a very brief synopsis. This book is about Jude, who lives in New York. When we meet him, he has 3 friends who are called Willem, JB, and Malcolm. But we mainly follow Jude and his life in New York and his experiences with these friends. However, as we read on, we realize that Jude has quite a heavy background. He has gone through some things that he will not mention or talk about to anyone, but it does become clear to the reader as we read on that what he has gone through is horrible and it has left an impact on our main character. So of course we get curious, we want to know what happens, but when we are told, we don't want to know anyway, because these things are horrible. I think most people who have read this book would agree with me that this story is filled with emotions, and it's quite an emotional ride that you will go on when you read it. It's heavy, and it leaves a scar on your heart. I mean, this book changed me because it made me realize some things, and it made me put myself in other people's situations that altered me in some way, so that I now have a different view on, for instance, mental illnesses and diseases. And I mean, there are so many things going on in Jude's life, and this is where I'm left speechless because you cannot explain this, you have to read it. Don't be afraid of the emotions, because I think that sometimes you need to read these kinds of books. This book teaches you empathy, definitely, because it teaches you to put yourself in another person's situation and really go through the same things that this person went through. And even though I knew that I was reading a chapter that would break my heart, I kept on reading because I needed to know and I wanted to feel these emotions, and I definitely did. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the characters. I'm not going to go into any spoilers, but there are these 4 main characters that are absolutely amazing in their unique ways. I will have to say, Jude was not my favorite character. He was definitely a runner-up, but my favorite character was Willem. Maybe you haven't read the book, so you won't know who Willem is or what kind of guy he is or anything, but I just really liked this guy, and I understood where he was coming from and the way he reacted on things, and I just really liked him. And then of course Jude was also such a heartwarming character, and it was just, I don't know how to say this, he was just amazing. Even though he doesn't know it himself, he was amazing. After having finished this book, I still think about him, and also Willem. And the other 2 characters, Malcolm and JB, were also unique and very interesting in their own ways. We don't hear that much about them. Willem and Jude are our 2 main characters, but we still get a full background on all 4, and that includes JB and Malcolm. And I quite liked how the perspective changed during the book. You are not bored in any way, and you feel like you get the full picture, which I really appreciated. I think it's no surprise that I really liked this book, and I gave it 5 stars because it was unique. It has left an impact on me, and I don't think I will ever forget this book. It actually reminded me in some parts of two of my other favorite books of all time, and that is White Oleander by Janet Fitch as well as The Interestings by Meg Wolitzer. It kind of resembles these two books. Even though this is such a different story, it does have some resemblances to these stories as well, and maybe that's why it hit me straight in the heart. It is written in a way that I like, and it has such an interesting story that I would not want to live without. I'm definitely happy that I have read it. Even though it has left a scar on my heart, it is a scar that I appreciate, and as I said, I wouldn't live without. There is one thing that kind of surprised me because I didn't realize this until halfway through the book. This book comes with almost no female characters, and I normally hate that. I like for my books to have a mix of both male and female characters, but this one comes with almost exclusively male characters. But the thing that surprised me is that I did not mind at all. I loved it so much anyway, and I did not miss any female characters after all. I don't know why it is, but this book just does this to you. It takes you and it puts you in an emotional turmoil, and then it finishes and you are left in your couch with this huge hole in your heart, and you feel like you've been on such a journey and how can this have finished already? Another thing that kind of surprised me is that I Instagrammed this, but I looked at the description about the author, Hanya Yanagihara, and I always like to read about the authors, know a little bit about them, maybe see a picture, but all you get in this book is one line, and it says, Hanya Yanagihara lives in New York City. And that's all you get to know about the author, so that surprised me. I mean, such a heavy and fulfilled book, and then one line on the author. Anyway, I was obsessed with this book from the very first page. I could feel that this was going to be a favorite of mine, and it turned out that it did become a favorite of mine. I don't know what else to tell you about this novel. I don't know if I added any new information in comparison to all the other reviews that have been made, but these are my emotions. These are my feelings and thoughts about this novel. I hope you can use them, and if I have inspired you to pick up the book, please let me know in the comments, because then we can discuss it while you're reading and also afterwards. I think that's all I had to say about this book. I hope you enjoyed the video despite my lack of words. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day everyone. Happy reading. Bye bye.